Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Vechain, taking a look at the most recent price action and what I think is likely to happen next. Now as I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, then do go ahead and smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe by tapping the bell and selecting all the notifications. You will not miss another video update. Okay guys, let's jump right down into this one. Right, so we're going to be taking a look at the daily chart specifically. We're going to be taking a look at Elliott wave theory and smart money concepts. Okay, so we do have some interesting kind of structures that we need to kind of pay attention to. So we're going to start things off here on our daily chart using USDT and Binance as our data source and an Elliott wave theory point of view. So here we can see that we had this this channel here that was going to the downside, and we often say that when we see lower lows and lower highs, these have a tendency to break to the upside. We could also note that we saw an A-B structure here with a potential C wave high. So what we're going to do is we just want to review where we've gone to so far and what this might mean for that price action. So we're going to grab our fibs, we're just going to run this down here, and we're going to move this over to the low. Over here we can see, I'll just make this a little bit bigger. I just want to see whether or not we got this a little bit off kilter. Okay, so we're just going to pull that in. We can see that our yellow box is actually sitting a little bit lower than it should. It should be about here. This is basically 2.797 through to 2.979 cent. This is the typical area that you'd expect a C wave movement to go to. Now, on this daily chart, we can obviously note that we did push up higher than 2.531. That's marked on this white dashed line here. Okay, this is our minimum, was our minimum expectation for that C wave, a double top. Okay, so we have the higher expectation, which is what you would normally typically expect to see from a C wave. And then obviously we had that minimum. So we actually did find this as a bit of resistance. We come back down, we tested this 50 EMA right here. We then broke through it, broke through the 2.531, and we're on that journey to the upside. Right now we're finding resistance on the 786 fib level, and so there's a little bit further of a push to the upside potentially here for Vechain, but there isn't terribly too much more in the tank by the looks of it. We are overbought on our daily time frame, overbought on that 8-hour time frame as well, so we want to be a little bit cautious here. We're talking about moving maybe possibly another 6.5% to the upside before we complete that structure. Okay, so we do know that there's a bit of a move to the upside still to be had, but you expect volatility as with everything. As we were to go down into the smaller time frames, you can see that we still got a little bit of a room to the downside before we move up, but it does look like things are moving nicely. Same with the 4-hour, yeah, got loads of progression to the upside. So it does look like we have a little bit more room to the upside here, so possibly that we do hit that 2.797 1-to-1 ratio. Now, as I zoom out of this thing, we can also see that there's this idea that we are in a corrective structure to the downside here. This move coming down here would be a Z wave. And looking at it, it looks to me like we have this initial area here being 1.46 to 1.654. Now, I just want to do some sense checks on that because obviously our yellow box at the higher end was slightly off. So I'm just going to go ahead and check this. Now, we'll assume that we hit that low threshold at 2.797. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put this right as close as I can, which happens to be 9.6. So we're just going to zoom in on this and see if we can get that to 9.7. He doesn't want me to. Oh, yes, there we go, 9.7. Okay, so that's exactly on that low. And if we go ahead and take a look at where we can see down here, it's slightly higher this time around. So I'll just push this yellow box back into where it needs to be. Okay, so we're talking about as low as 1.475 and 1.667. So that's the range down here for this C wave structure. That would basically take us back down to oversold in my opinion on the daily chart, and we can see how this could play out. So the first move is to go up. We have to finish off our little kind of movement to the upside. That's the C wave. And then once that is done, that should complete our bigger macro B wave structure. And then we can start to go down into that C wave where we'll see 1.4 to 1.6 cent. Okay, so pretty decent correction actually. I mean, if we were to reflect on that to the high side of this area, we're talking about 40% reduction in the price action of Vechain. So pretty good, healthy kind of natural pullback, which would be pretty good for many people to kind of come back into the space if they wanted to. The existing existing low is right down here at 1.533. So it's still possible that we have a double bottom at this area. Okay. Now this would basically be marked up as a Z wave, and that Z wave still has abilities to go down deeper, which means we could at a bigger macro level and over several months look at this as an A wave going up into a B wave, only to come down into that low range at a later date. Okay, so there's lots of room here for movement in price. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on over. In fact, you can see this one right in here as well. I'm going to remove that because we don't need to see that on our smart money concepts. We're going to jump into the smart money concept angle for Vechain here, and we are still bearish. Okay, so we can see that the structure has not changed. Okay, we can see right here, we had this change of characterization from bullish to bearish. This happened in December of 2021. Okay, we got confirmation again when we had a break of structure and we continued to move on down. That was May 2022. We got a third confirmation just over here by taking a look at that in November 2022. Okay, and our lows for the bear market at the moment on Vechain is basically, I think, the end of December, so 31st of December 2022. Okay, so it bottomed out almost a month after that of Bitcoin, right? Nothing bottoms, I'll say nothing, but most projects do not bottom together, right? So we know that things here have moved up quite nicely on Vechain. It does look like a strong low, but again, the Elliott wave theory structures are not giving us confirmation of that. We moved up 111%, which admittedly is more than Bitcoin's moved, obviously, because, you know, altcoins do get you more percentages than Bitcoin, but it doesn't really change our outlook here. Now, the bulls might be looking at this slightly through a different lens, which would be something to this effect. We can have that correction to the downside, then really rally on up, and that would make that December low the bear market bottom. I'm just not confident on that. I don't think we really have a good structure to the upside, and we haven't yet got confirmation that we've changed our characterization. It's not to say that it can't happen, it's just it hasn't happened yet. I think what we're going to do is we'll end up with another bearish confirmation when we actually do come down and finish off this area. So let's go ahead and zoom in, not on the stochastic, but on the actual chart here. But I'm going to just move that stochastic down a little bit. There we go. We can see that we are just about breaking above that 200 EMA and just above the 50 EMA. We are and have consolidated on equilibrium. We have a strong high at the moment, so we're not expecting this to go up higher. And we can also see that we have these red areas. These are internal sell order blocks. And this little one right here is a buy order block in the internally. Now we do have a weak low down here. So again, 1.533 doesn't look like it's been tested much at all, and does look like an area that was likely to break down. Now, if we take a look at this high and why it's a strong high, is we got rejected from an area that we consolidated on, we moved up to, we got rejected from it, and we got rejected again. Okay, so we want to be a little bit aware of that. There is, of course, a little bit of positivity that we might be able to look at across a much bigger time frame, and that is that we are going down into lower highs and lower lows. It's just going to take some time to play out. And eventually this will break to the upside, okay? You can't go down forever in the same way that you can't go up forever, right? So at some point this is going to test these lows, and I think we're going to get a launch from there. And it does look pretty healthy overall, right? So we just need to kind of be patient, let the structures play out, let the price be what the price will be, and accumulate when you see good value in the market. Right now, I think there's a little bit of value to be had, but it's not much. I think ultimately we need to wait for a correction to the downside before we really go heavy in on Vechain. But that's just my humble opinion. Let me know what yours is down in the comments below. I'm going to leave this one right there. If you did find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you're new, subscribe. Don't forget to join us down in Discord, linked in the description below. I will catch you all in the next one.
We are not financial advisors, and none of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.